Hey y'all, happy Sunday everyone. How are you guys doing today on this beautiful Sunday? I'm going to be really quick today. Y'all going to have to bear with me. I'm sneezing like 100 miles per hour. Like I've been just sneezing all day, but I'm not complaining because I am having a beautiful, blessed, and amazing Sunday. And I hope you all are as well. Got a little tongue twisted there. But of course, I do want to come to you guys with a little motivational message. Excuse me, I feel like I got sneeze. But I was thinking about today. Of course, my mind is always just wandering, just everywhere. But what I want to talk to you guys today about is knowing where you come from. So I'm going to tell y'all where I got that message from. I was actually tuning into a motivational video last night with Puff Daddy and Jay-Z. Everyone should know who that is, who they are. They are pioneers in the rap game, multi-millionaires that slash on their way, if not yet billionaires. Rappers, artists, producers, entrepreneurs, CEOs. Puff Daddy and Jay-Z been doing big things for years, so big ups to them. But I just came across a video, and they was doing some motivational speaking, and Puff Daddy was talking about a man named Mansa Musa, and I hope that I got his name correctly. So who Mansa Musa is, his name means King of Kings. So he was a king in the 1300s, somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere. So he was a king who inherited a lot of wealth from his family. Excuse me, my nose is right at sorry y'all, my allergies is like kicking my butt today. But either way, the devil was a lie. I'm gonna get this message through today. But because it just made me think, because I was talking yesterday about some of the richest men known on this earth today, and I mentioned a few people that I was talking about yesterday, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, whose net worth is in the hundreds of billions. So big ups to them, because they just worked hard and they did what they had to do, and it paid off for them. But Mansa Musa is to date, even though he reigned king in the 1300s, no one has ever been wealthy. He's an African king. So I just started looking him up, and when Puff Daddy mentioned his name, I was like, let me just look him up, and I started reading some history on him and everything like that. But he is the wealthiest person who has ever lived to date. No one has ever been as wealthy as Mansa Musa. Even the value of wealth that he had back in the 1300s is unmatched in the 20th century. No one has ever been as wealthy as he was. So that, it blew my mind. And that wasn't the main thing that he was known for. He was known for his generosity and his kindness and his giving. So that's what he chose to do with his wealth back in the 1300s, when he traveled and went to different places and did whatever kings did back in the 1300s. He took enough gold and wealth, or whatever he could bring along with him. He brought enough with him so that he was able to distribute it to anyone he felt as though was in need. So Mansa Musa was not only known to be the wealthiest man ever to date, no one alive, born, ever has been wealthy as Mansa Musa. Look him up. You can Google it if you think I'm lying. And it blew my mind because, number one, I felt convicted. I was like, oh my God, I'm steady talking about, other people, being wealthy or whatever. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. My allergies is kicking my butt today. I never even knew until I stumbled across that video and Puff Daddy mentioned, he was talking about Mansa Musa, and he's of African descent. When you look him up, his skin is the same color as mine, so that made me feel proud. And I was like, wow, I'm steady talking about different people who are extremely wealthy. And I never knew, some of you might know the history of Mansa Musa, but that was like news to me. I never knew that the wealthiest person that ever lived, number one, he was an African king. He was of African descent, and it made me feel so proud that his skin color was the same as mine. African Americans, we are of African descent, even the ones that were born over here in America. If you know anything about our history, we were brought over here unwillingly, and enslaved, and we just been through a lot. So, we talk a lot about how different people of different races or what have you, they might be more privileged than we are, especially if your skin is lighter, than ours, and that most times that is the case. Still to this day, African Americans are treated very unfairly when it comes down to various things, and when it all boils down to it, it's because of the color of our skin. But, I did not know that fact, that the wealthiest man that ever lived was an African king. I know I know we are descendants of kings and queens, and I do look into different things of that nature. And, even though we were enslaved, and, a lot of us are still mentally enslaved, and that speaks to how we live physically. Some of us still eat chitlins, and I ain't trying to talk bad about what anybody chooses to eat, but before, when we were enslaved, obviously enslaved, we didn't have a choice because they ate the rest of the pig, and all they left us was the part that was undesirable, or what they didn't want to eat, or what they didn't know what to do with it. So we had to learn how to clean the pig intestines and throw it in a pot with some seasoning and onion and pepper, and put a side of greens and potato salad with it, and we didn't have no choice but to eat like that, back then. And a lot of people still do eat like that. They eat the chitlins and the pig feet and whatever, that's by choice. But a lot of us, number one, we don't really take heed to where we actually come from. We taught that they highlight the part about us, being slaves. And a lot of us are still stuck in the slave mentality. And even those who are not of African descent, whatever your heritage may be, do you know who you are? Do you take heed to your history and where you actually came from? When I read that fact about Mansa Musa, I was like, wow, he probably my cousin or something, like somewhere along the line. That was back in the 1300s. But all right, what if I was like actually related to him in some kind of way? Which makes it so sad, because even with all of the black on black crime that goes on, and I don't even think that they take heed to the fact that you really might be killing your own cousin. In all seriousness, like y'all killing each other, and you never know, you really might be taking your own blood out of here, and we scream FOH, family over FOE, family over everything, and everybody like to scream and holler about how much family means to them or whatever. But the value of life has been downgraded so drastically, because even with Mansa Musa, he inherited his wealth through his family. So I mean, that's a good way to do it. That just makes me think about what I am fighting so hard to do, because when I leave this earth, I don't want to leave my kids struggling. I want to leave something with them. I want them to have something to be able to fall back on, because we already got an extra layer of hard on us, difficulties, let me just say it like that, on us, because of the color of our skin. And I just want to be able to leave something with my children for them to inherit, even if I don't give it to them right now. Well, when I get it, I want to be able to allow them to be able to inherit something, that I left for them, but I just really didn't know that fact, which made me so grateful that, I do open my mind up to learn new facts every day. And, I know it may not be new to everybody, but that was definitely new to me. And when my mind just goes, like, Dad, what if that's my cousin? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are related in some kind of way, but, I didn't even, and I really think I didn't even take heed to, I didn't even, when I was looking up the wealthiest people on earth, I never even thought to look into African kings and queens. We were really extremely wealthy, even if it was back in the 1300s, and it just makes me feel proud of who I am. And it takes that extra layer of enslavement off of my mind, even if we are physically conditioned in a certain extent. When you think about where you really came from, it gives you an extra push of pride. Like, thank God that I came from an African descent. Where they were wealthy, where kings and queens were wealthy, and I can look back into the ancient histories of my ancestors and know who I really am. My people are amazing. Even when we took that trip to the African American Museum, and it just highlighted so many amazing things that my people have done over the years, whether it was inventions or, sports or, cooking. Like, so many amazing things came from people of my descent. And I am by no means a prejudiced person. I love everybody, until you give me a reason to, shun myself away from you. Everybody I will not deal with, but I take pride in who I am and where I come from. And once you get that in your mind, that you don't have to be enslaved in your mind, it takes the barriers off. Yes, they are building new prisons and making room for us in jail, and putting more into welfare and government housing and things like that before they'll give us a loan, or to start our business. And we got to start, we got to start from the bottom and like literally scratch our way up, because they will not even meet us face to face. They will hear us talk on the phone, or by the sound of our voice, or by our name. Your name's Sakira. Oh, you definitely not getting this loan. So it just really makes you think. Where do I come from? Do I know who I am and where I come from? If you could just think back to your history and who you really come from, and even if you don't want to go back that far, I know we live in a microwave times where everything is just a here and a now, and I want it now, and I can't see it now, or whatever. But just think about who you are and where you came from, and then think about where you are today. We came from one of the wealthiest people that has ever lived. Now, there are people who are on their way to achieving that level of wealth, but to date, no one has ever had the amount of wealth of Mansa Musa, and that man was of African descent. That makes me feel proud. I get butterflies in my stomach just saying it. That makes me feel so proud. I did not know that. I just really didn't know it. That was something that I did not know. That thing really blew my mind. It gives me a certain sense of pride. It makes me want to push harder and move forward and, be the next Mansa Musa, even if I don't. We come from wealth. It's no reason for us to be living below wealth, below extreme wealth, so we should never get used to living in poverty or below the poverty line or whatever. And I know that is the case for a lot of us, and with more of us that want it than there is us that have it. Some have it, some people have I know I got contacts at my phone right now of people who I know touched $1 million. I got a lot of contacts on my phone of successful entrepreneurs who I know 100% for a fact that has touched, seen, smelt, and looked at $1 million in their bank account, and it gives me a sense of hope, because I want that to be my reality one day. But never forget who you are and where you come from, because that might give you that push for you to push even harder, for you to discipline yourself even more, for you to reach for your goals even more, for you to do what you need to do for your family or your loved ones or for yourself, or leave your mark on this earth and not settle for anything less than what you are actually worth. I'm not only talking to people of my own skin color, but I am talking to y'all, and I want you to definitely know that you are worth more than you probably even know that you are worth. Literally, if not me, a lot of y'all is probably direct descendants of Mansa Musa somewhere down the line, especially if your skin color is the same color as he had my exact same complexion. He was literally my exact same dark skin complexion. I'm whoa, hold up. You know what I mean? He might be my cousin. You never know. But it just gives you a sense of pride, and it makes you want to push harder, move forward when you look into who you really are and where you came from. It might not change the mind of everyone, may not think that way, but me personally, it just makes me see myself and my kings. I have 5 sons. They are all kings in my eyes. My daughters, my queens, I just see them as royalty in my eyes. It makes me look at who I am. When I look in the mirror, I see myself as a queen. It just makes me look at who I am when I know where I came from. And it makes me want to push harder for what I really deserve. I deserve to have everything that God promised me in his word. I deserve to be wealthy. You have to have a wealthy mindset before you make that your reality. Every millionaire, billionaire, unless you were directly inherited those things, which God bless, God bless those who have that kind of inheritance. That's a blessing. But they work hard for their riches. Even though Mansa Musa inherited it, I'm sure those that went before him, his predecessors, somebody had to scratch their way to the top to get there. So know who you are. Please know who you are and where you come from, and take a sense of pride in who you are. It all starts in the mind. You have to have have a wealthy mindset so you can get the things that you desire in life. So let me take my sniffling, sneezing self back in the house. I'm frying chicken for my kids and just want to wind down my day. But God bless you all. I'm glad I came to you with that motivational message. I hope it is received in a special way. Know who you are. God bless you all. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another motivational message of the day. Y'all be blessed.